Hello everybody and welcome to another one of my tutorials. This one is on Unity and this is just going to be a quick step through to how to use Unity and how to make an animation with it. So this is kind of a cheat, so you don't have to watch like 5 different videos for this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Unity. And I go to the spotlight over here, or you can do go to File and Finder and find it, or sometimes it can be down here in your little port. But for me, I just look it up and find it that way because this Unity is really large, so I don't want something that big taking up space on my computer. Anyway, so it'll say welcome to Unity, which this always shows up on my thing. But if you don't want it to show up every time you open it, you just go down here, say don't show up again. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open a new project. So we're going to say new project. Just to go over this really quickly with you, you have 2 options here where it's an open a project, so I can open any project I want here, or create a new one. So we're going to create a new one, and we're going to call this which animation. And we're doing something called camel titling, so every new word is capitalized. We're going set allows you to save a project where you want it to be saved. And if you have a Mac, you have a little arrow because you have your normal stuff right here where you can just save wherever, which this saves in documents, which is where I want it to save. But if it doesn't show you an option you want to, just go to this arrow, type in what you want. So again, which animation. Okay, save. There we go. So users, yes, documents, which animation. Then we go down. This is very important. So it gives you an option of doing 3D or 2D. And we're going to be working with 2D. It works more with the XY plane than rather with X, Y, and Z. So create project. And it'll take a minute. Okay, so you have a brand new project. So let's go over some of these. You see all these different things. I wish I could make that go away, but I can't. So over here we have our hierarchy. Which I don't like how big that is. But it'll show main camera. This is also where you'll find your text when you create it and some animations. You can go to create and do create empty child, 3D object, 2D objects, the sprites, etc., etc. Most common one is a UI or user interface. You can make a panel, a button, text, image, blah, 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 blah. Or you can come up here to game object, and it's the exact same thing, UI, 3D, 2D. Next one over here, we have scene, which shows you what you're working on. Game is how it looks without playing in your file. So it pretty much shows you exactly what it'll look like. And then we have over here, we have the inspector. The inspector will be blank if nothing is selected. But if you have main camera, you can position where you want it to be, scale of it is just 111. And you can change the background color if you want. So there's a lot of things you can do here. This also shows you the preview of the camera as well, now that it's selected. If you want to see what it looks like when it's playing, all you do is hit play. And it will show you what you want. If you want it to stop playing, do not hit pause, you hit play again. Most of you won't have this animation window up, and I'll explain it later. Down here you have your assets. So this will be where all of your files are, so any scripts that you write, images that you bring in, text that you do, buttons you create, etc., etc. It'll all be here in your assets, and you can actually have multiple file of assets. So if you want one you can work on several different scenes at one time. So you can have one for one scene, one for pictures, one for scripts, just a whole bunch of stuff. It helps you organize it. There's another tab here called Console. For the most part, this is where any errors happen in your code, but we're not working with code today, so we don't have to worry about it. So we'll just stay with project. All right, so let's get started on this animation. So first we're going to do is we're going to go to Assets, and we are going to import a new asset. At this time, I have made the animations itself, so I've done frame-by-frame shots, and sorry, I forgot to plug this part in. Which I'll put a link to for the video for later, and you can download it, or you can find a different one online if you don't like the one that I did. It's the first animation I've ever done, so, you know, first animation things, you're always proud of them, even if it's crap. Anyway, so I'm going to go into Rabs. It's my animation project. There are beetles in my house, which is kind of unnerving. And this one, I've entitled it Frames. You can work with Photoshop directly in these files, or you can work with a JPEG. For right now, I'm just going to work with the JPEG. And this one shows anything that's within it. So now we have this in our assets. It's wonderful! Hooray! Things are going so well. Now over here, since we set it up as 2D, we don't have to really do anything for too much of this. So sprite, 2D, UI, great, that's what we want. However, we don't want it to register it as a single image. We want it to register it as multiple images. Next thing we want to do, we want to change size and do true color. This makes it larger, so if you want to keep it small, you can keep it compressed or do 16 bits. We'll keep true color, even though this is just black and white. It still works. Now, to change this so it registers multiple different images, we'll go to Sprite Editor. Click on that button. Now it actually shows us the image here. And over here we see some little thing. We can move it around. It's a window. It's lovely. And under the sprite editor it says slice. So we're going to press that. We're going to do we're not going to do automatic. We're going to do grid. And I've already figured this out earlier. With this image, it is actually, if I remember correctly, 300 by 300 slice. So that gives us a pretty good cut. So it's beautiful. Works. It's wonderful. And now we're going to go over here. Don't close it yet. Go over to apply. Hooray. And now it's applied. So now it sees it as a lot of different images. And now if we click this, look at that! 23 different frames. You wouldn't think it was so hard to do 23 different frames, but it actually is. Okay, now that that's done, for most of you, you don't have this animation window up, so I'm going to teach you how to do it really fast. You'll go up to Window, up here. Then you will scroll down, and you will click on that, and it will open up your animation window. And then if you want, you can actually move this thing around. So you can move it to over here, or you can move it down to here. And you can just slide it into your actual thing, so it will actually keep it up. If you want it to go away, just pull it away from everything like that, and just close it. But for right now, I liked it where it was. So, yeah. Go back. I want you to do your... No. Now it's being all finicky. All right. Yeah, that works. All right, so now, first thing you want to hit is record, because it doesn't do anything if you don't have a record. So which animation, it's going to get confusing, so we'll just put which. Save. Next, we are going to take the frames and do that. Drag it over here. Put it there. Okay. I don't really like that. There we go. Whoa! That's huge. Alright. So now we see our little image here. And if we hit play, you can see that it's super fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this a little bit. Oh, and this is actually timed for per second. So this is 0 seconds. This is 0.3 seconds. Not 30 seconds, 0.3. This is 1 second. Okay? So now we know. And knowing is half the battle. The other half is bloodshed. We can actually change it so that it goes slower. So in this samples thing, you see this, it says 60. That's 60 frames per second. And you can cut it in half to 30, see what you like. I think last time I did it to about 20. I kind of want to know what it's like if it were a little slower. Yeah, I like that. So I chose 15 frames. But yeah, so that's your animation. Pretty cool, right? If you want, you can zoom in. And if you want, you can actually see what it's like in the gameplay. But it's not showing. So there's a problem here. So let's figure this out really fast. So when we are on the main camera, whoo, that is... Let's look at the 3D. See what the heck is going on here. I'm going to go to hand mode so I can drag this around. Alright, so I think what it is that it's not actually on the frame. So I'm going to go back to 2D mode. Here. So to fix that, I'm going to take frame 1, drag it here. Boom! That just moves the frame. Move the actual image. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's see. So we have that. Now we are going to see if I can't get this animation onto this. So click on that. I've actually never had this problem before, so it's going to be very interesting. We're going to work together to get through this. Hooray! Teamwork! So we have an animation. So let's just... Yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can add a component. Maybe UI? No, not under UI. Effects, physics, navigation, rendering, layout, miscellaneous. Let's just try to drag this here. There we go. Yeah, we can just drag. Okay. Oh, it says something's wrong. Oh, we fixed it. Check that out. Okay, so how we fixed it for those who were confused, all I did was I came over to our assets, see all these images, which actually we can make this so that doesn't show, so it's easier. So if we have our frame 0, which is where I put the first image, main camera, and then we have our witch animation. And all I did was, once frame 0 was selected, you have to make sure that's selected, I just dragged this over into here, which gave us our animator little thing, which allowed us so that when we hit play, our little witch pops up. Isn't she so cute? But you can't even see it from there. So let's do one more thing. We will change the size, or try to see if we can change the size of this. To do that, go back to this. We are going to go to this, pixels per unit. And we're going to try and do this. Hit enter. If you don't hit enter, it will not apply it. Just so you know. Just saying. See if that maybe did it. Unapplied import settings. Yeah, apply it. Okay, so now it's a little bigger. It's very counterintuitive. Pixels per unit, the smaller it is, the smaller the picture will be. Or the smaller the number, the bigger the picture will be. The bigger the number, the smaller the picture becomes. Okay, so that is how you do a basic animation. Its technical term is sprite animation. I hope this was helpful, and please let me know if you are interested in any more tutorials or have any questions for me. Thanks!